Well, happy weekend, friends, and happy August to you. It is August 2024. Can you believe it? Means many things to many folks, but for most of us, it is a back to school reality as plans and preparations are being made for things to start to transition back into the school year. And that means lots of things, not only for those children and students and the families that support them, but for all of us as a community as we start to make that transition together. So, really, we just wanted to capitalize on that. And so, during the whole month of August, we're going to have a back to school theme. And so, our worship will somewhat follow a back to school theme. More about that later. But more than anything, it really is just an opportunity for us to kind of get back in rhythm, to get back to those things and those processes and those habits, those disciplines that draw us closer to one another. And ultimately, and this is the goal here, right, to draw closer to the Lord. And so with that in mind, I just want to give you a brief heads up of some back to school things we want you to know about that are pretty important. Some of those begin this Sunday. And then give you a little bit more detail about a back to school event we're going to have on Sunday, August the 11th. And then I'll give you a little bit of a worship preview as well, if you're interested in that. So to begin this Sunday, first Sunday of the month, which those of you who are familiar with our rhythm here at St. Paul's know that that's family worship, where our children that are older than nursery age, so if they're elementary age and older, they will remain with us in worship. And so we believe that that is a strong and vital part of how we operate, that our children spend time with us and are shaped by all of worship. And probably most importantly, on the first Sunday of the month, is because we share in the Lord's Supper together. We come to take Holy Communion, that beautiful sacrament that binds us all together and does something very powerful in us and for us as it leads and nourishes our lives as disciples of Jesus Christ. And so that's going to happen this Sunday, but I do want to remind you, if you have a child that is nursery age, the nursery will be available to them this Sunday, but our older children will stay with us. Just before worship at 9 a.m., there's a very, very important meeting for all of those who serve with our children in Children's Church and are connected in serving in that very important ministry. We need you to be here at 9 a.m. We'll meet in the fellowship hall. There'll be some food provided, meet with Melinda and myself and other leaders as we get back on the same page and kind of get back in this back to school mode, and give you an update on some things and some procedures, and give you an opportunity to ask questions about how best you can get plugged in and serve. And so we already have a long list of folks that are a part of our children's ministry team. But we're always looking for more. So please come if you're interested in that. That'll be 9 a.m. in the fellowship hall. The month of August, we will return to our everyday offerings. And so for this month, in our back to school theme, we're going to be partnering with Interfaith Emergency Services and their Food for Kids program. And we are asking you to bring food items that are more kid friendly. So here are the suggestions that they gave us. Things like macaroni and cheese, peanut butter and jelly, and anything that's snack sized. That goes a long way to fulfilling the needs of the children in our community. And so with our back to school theme, we thought it'd be a great opportunity to partner with them specifically on the needs of the children that come there for nourishment as a part of their backpack or Food for Kids program. So we look forward to getting your help in the month of August for that. Now let's talk a little bit about August the 11th. We're going to have a special Sunday. We're calling it Back to School Sunday for several reasons. First, we're going to have our backpack blessing. And so if you have a student, a child that brings a backpack to school each and every day, we hope that they will come and bring their backpack. If you're a teacher or administrator, please come as well. If you would like to bring your bag, please do. We'll set them there in front of the altar as a visual representation of our responsibility to love and care for and pray over our students and their teachers and administrators. We'll have a special time of prayer during the worship service on the 11th, And then you're invited to stick around. We're going to have a church-wide picnic together. And so please plan to stay for that. We're going to have a really good time. We'll stage all of that out of the fellowship hall. And just to let you know, we're going to need your help to feed everyone. So here's what we're asking you to help us with. Will you please consider bringing a side dish, a salad, or dessert? Or if you're really audacious, you can bring all three. But we would like to know if you're planning to do that. So when you're here on Sunday, would you sign up and let us know what you're planning to bring on the 11th? We have some clipboards with sign-up sheets in the narthex. And if you can't be here this weekend, but you do plan on being here the 11th, just give us a call in the church office and let us know what you're planning to bring. That way those wonderful folks that are going to be working behind the scenes to make that event happen are aware of what they can expect that day from you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, let's talk a little bit about worship as we transition into a back-to-school theme. The theme this week is pack your lunch. That's one of the real common things that we do, especially those that are going off to school. I know at my house, that's always something that happens each morning before our kiddos head out is we've got to pack some lunches and make sure that everybody has nourishment and has fuel for the day. And we're going to look at that invitation a little differently through the lens of Scripture. And Scripture talks a lot about bread, and it talks a lot about hunger and about thirst, because we all know those realities. We understand that we need nourishment, that we need things in our life to help us survive. And so we're going to talk a little bit about our appetites and about what it means for us to hunger and thirst for righteousness. And what does it mean that Jesus calls himself in Scripture the bread of life? And so we're going to ask the question about, as we use this back-to-school metaphor about getting back in rhythm and back in the saddle and back to the things that matter, what does it mean for us to have an appetite for the good grace of God? What does it mean for us to want those things? What does it mean for us to pack particular things in our lunch, per se, as we go out into the world? What do we bring with us, and what are we looking for? And how does our appetite change when we find God's grace? And so all of that we'll be tackling together in worship. And of course, like I said earlier, we'll end our time together by being nourished at the table as we come and partake in Holy Communion and share in the gift and grace and love of God through the work of Jesus Christ. And so I look forward to that with you all. Pray you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we can't wait to be with you Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. here at St. Paul's in Ocala. If you can't be with us in person, we would invite you to join us online. We'll be live streaming at both our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. If you have any questions about that, just give us a shout back on this email if you're getting by email, or drop us a comment on Facebook, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right? Grace and peace to you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful beginning to your August.